Badlands Crew offers a fresh take on the post-apocalypse genre, putting you in command of your very own Mad Max-style battle truck with a strategic twist. This game blends the thrill of survival racing with tactical crew management. Imagine if Bomber Crew met Mad Max, placing you behind the wheel of a heavily armed truck. Sounds crazy? Absolutely, and it is. From the very first moments, Badlands Crew grabs your attention, allowing you to create a fully customized armored vehicle and dive headfirst into dangerous wastelands. Forget boring backstories, just jump into the driver's seat, fire up the engine, and embrace the chaos. Released on PC in 2025, the game quickly gained positive player reviews. As your hosts, we'll reveal exactly what makes Badlands Crew special, from exploring an immersive open world to deeply customizable vehicle upgrades, informative, occasionally humorous, and full of real in-game experiences rather than dry evaluations. Buckle up, the show begins now. World exploration. The wastelands of Badlands Crew offer a vast open world packed with diverse biomes and deadly surprises. The primary landscape is a barren desert straight out of Mad Max, endless dunes, rugged canyons, and sun-scorched plains. But don't expect monotony. The world is brought to life through rich details and unexpected encounters. You traverse abandoned settlements, radioactive craters, and makeshift survival outposts, clashing with bandits or stumbling into anomalies. The game's atmosphere perfectly captures a sense of lawlessness. Day turns to night, shifting the tone of the wasteland. Trust us, it's even more unsettling after dark. And the soundtrack kicks in just when chaos hits, especially when everything's on fire and your crew is screaming in panic. The world of Badlands Crew is full of danger. Beyond hostile factions, more on them in a moment, natural hazards also lie in wait. Sandstorms can suddenly blind you, and at high speeds it's easy to misjudge a corner and fly off a cliff. Yes, you can actually plunge into the abyss with your armored truck personal experience speaking. As if that weren't enough, giant sandworms lurk beneath the dunes straight out of classic sci-fi nightmares. Picture this: you're peacefully cruising along when suddenly a massive, toothy maw bursts from the ground, trying to swallow your truck whole. Heart instantly drops. These moments are nerve-wracking, but they're exactly what make exploring the world so thrilling. And then there's the human factor. The wasteland is divided among various survivor factions, each controlling different regions. In Badlands Crew, there are four insane gangs: the Gunners, the Pyros, the Scavs, and the Clowns. The Gunners are gun fanatics and will shred you with machine gun fire from every angle. The Pyros stroll around with flamethrowers, dreaming of roasting your ride to a crispy shell. The Scavs, short for scavengers, are sneaky and mean, always ready to loot what's left. And the Clowns? They wear creepy clown masks and are totally unpredictable in battle. Yes, the devs definitely have a dark sense of humor. Each faction has its own style, arsenal, and a fierce warlord boss, making every encounter feel fresh and chaotic. One day you're fending off a crazed biker gang with chainsaws, the next you're dodging missile barrages from psycho clowns. There are also neutral settlements scattered throughout, where you can catch your breath in one spot called the Citadel. There's even a live rock band playing, a small touch, but a fun one. All in all, the world feels alive and full of history. Every corner has clever details and Easter eggs while still managing to be genuinely dangerous. Exploring it is a real joy. You never know what's waiting just around the next canyon bend. Battle truck customization system. One of the standout features of Badlands Crew is its deep and flexible system for customizing your battle vehicle. Here you truly build your armored beast from scratch, turning a basic truck into an unstoppable fortress on wheels. You're given a massive selection of modules and components that can be attached to your rig however you like. Looking for firepower? Go wild mount flamethrowers, heavy machine guns, long-range sniper turrets, or even a spinning howitzer Gatling gun. Need more protection? Reinforce the frame with armored plates, slap a bulldozer plow on the front for ramming, upgrade the wheels for better traction, and slap an extra armor layer on the cap. Trust me, you'll need it. Crew support is just as important. You can install a heavy, slow-moving, nearly indestructible rolling tank covered in armor and bristling with weapons. Or go the opposite route, a light, fast buggy that hits quick and runs even quicker, relying on speed over defense. Want to get fancy? Create a glass cannon setup with insane damage output but zero forgiveness, or a support vehicle focused on buffs and keeping your team alive. The game actively encourages experimentation. You're free to mix and match equipment however you see fit. After every mission, you'll be itching to head back to the garage and bolt on something new, upgrade your engines for more speed, or install an extra shield generator if you unlocked it to survive tougher fights. New parts and upgrades unlock gradually as you progress through the campaign and complete missions. The further you go, the more powerful and wild your gadgets become, and sometimes they're absolutely necessary, because the enemies aren't staying still either. Crucially, every upgrade is visually represented on your truck. Your battle rig evolves in appearance with every new module. You'll see every gun, turret, pipe, and plate making you feel like a mad mechanic who just assembled a fire-breathing monster from scrap and steel. The building interface can be a bit overwhelming at first. Lots of parts, camera angles to manage, and sometimes it's tricky to place modules just where you want them, especially on the upper levels. The first few minutes in the workshop might feel confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it's dangerously addictive. Once you understand the logic of modular building, you'll spend hours fine-tuning your masterpiece. Badlands crew knows how to spark that creative builder's thrill. You don't just want to survive the next mission, you want to survive it in style, with the sickest rig on the road. And every modification affects gameplay. Add another turret, make sure someone can load and fire it. Boost your armor, you'll sacrifice speed. Add a second engine, better make sure you've got the fuel. Balancing and fine-tuning your setup is key to success. In the end, the truck customization system strikes a perfect balance, cheap and satisfying, but still approachable even for casual players. There's plenty of room for creativity. Your truck is your identity, or maybe more accurately, your blunt force identity delivery system. So go wild, build the craziest, deadliest machines you can imagine. The game is more than ready for your madness. Overall, gameplay impressions. So, you've built your perfect battle rig and rolled out on your first mission. What's waiting beyond those garage doors? Pure chaos and adrenaline. Badlands crew gameplay can best be described as multitasking action management. On one hand, you're behind the wheel, navigating through the wastelands, dodging obstacles and plotting your route. On the other, you're constantly giving orders to your crew, and trust me, without that you're toast. Every mission feels like a high-stakes roller coaster. Everything's on fire, explosions are everywhere, and enemies are closing in. You'll need to shoot at pursuers, patch up blown-out tires, put out engine fires, and bandage your gunner's woundshole while barreling forward at full speed. Enemies will try to catch you off guard, ambushes, side attacks, and even raider boarders jumping directly onto your truck mid-drive. Yep, some enemies are crazy enough to storm your rig in melee. One of your crew might have to abandon their gun and fight back with a shotgun or a wrench. Meanwhile, someone has to grab the wheel, or the truck just stops. Sometimes it turns into total circus chaos, and honestly, that's when the funniest stories happen. Believe me, fails are inevitable, and that's part of the charm. You'll laugh at your own disasters just as much as you'll curse them. I mean, what other game lets you say, I accidentally ran over my own gunner while dodging a sandworm? The game's pacing mixes chill moments with bursts of adrenaline. You're free to choose where to go and who to fight in the open world. Sometimes it's smart to steer clear of danger zones if your crew needs a break. But key missions and faction boss fights will push your skills to the limit. Every battle tests your setup and your improvisation. Got through it easily? Great, your truck and crew are on point. Barely escaped alive? No shame, head back to base, upgrade the rig, retrain the team, and try again. The game leans hard into the just one more run mentality even if your last one ended in a fiery wreck. You'll keep thinking, okay, just a quick fix, one more upgrade and this time we'll crush it. Special praise goes to the driving and control feel. As mentioned, steering a heavy war rig takes getting used to. You feel the weight, and sand can cause nasty skids. The default control scheme might feel awkward at first, but switching to classic WASD keys makes things much more comfortable. Of course, don't expect arcade-like handling. This is a truck, not a sports car. Speed and agility are limited, and that's the point. As one reviewer put it, you're not racing, you're managing chaos and trying not to fall off a cliff while doing it. That said, the game does have its racing moments. Some missions force you to floor it, whether fleeing from overwhelming enemies or chasing down a runaway convoy. In those moments, every percent of speed you squeezed out of your engine upgrades really matters. Humor. Despite the intensity, Badlands Crew regularly throws in hilarious moments. Thanks to its stylized visuals and exaggerated characters, even the most brutal firefights have a comedic edge. Your crew, although hardened survivors, frequently end up in ridiculous situations. Putting a bucket on their head instead of a helmet, or running around with flaming boots if you don't put out the fire fast enough. And the clowns faction, they are walking circus clowns with flamethrowers and rocket launchers. It's hilarious and terrifying all at once. Sometimes the soundtrack even shifts to upbeat, goofy tunes right in the middle of combat and you catch yourself grinning while fending off chaos. These light-hearted touches balance the tension perfectly, preventing the game from taking itself too seriously. But when survival is on the line, don't worry, it knows how to crank up the pressure. Final thoughts. Overall, Badlands Crew delivers a wildly memorable gameplay experience. It's a rare fusion of genres, part vehicular action, part real-time tactics, part resource management. Constantly switching between driver, gunner and squad leader keeps you on your toes. And when you finally beat a tough mission, overcoming all the madness and juggling everything at once, that sense of satisfaction is unbeatable. The game generously rewards smart planning and creative builds, but it's just as entertaining when everything goes horribly wrong. Even failure pushes you to try again because deep down you're thinking one more raid, this time for sure. That addictive tempo and variety of scenarios make Badlands Crew a perfect pick for players looking for something a little off the beaten path, a fresh chaotic twist on the action genre that's as fun to fail at as it is to master. Conclusion. Badlands Crew turned out to be a unique and engaging experience. Sure, it's not without flaws. The interface and controls could be smoother at times, and there are a few minor bugs and rough edges that could use polishing, but all of that fades in the face of what the game truly offers: emotion and fun. It boldly blends genres and pulls it off with style, letting you feel like a mechanic engineer, a fearless warrior driver, and a strategist making split-second decisions all at once. So, who is Badlands Crew for? First and foremost, fans of post-apocalyptic settings and movies like Mad Max's game lets you fully live that fantasy. Players who enjoy squad management games, think FTL, Bomber Crew or XCOM, will also find something to love. While the concept is different, that feeling of responsibility for your crew and the tension of crisis moments is definitely there. If you love customizing vehicles and can spend hours tweaking your ride, like in Crossout or even Car Mechanic Simulator, you're gonna feel right at home. Building your monster rig is incredibly satisfying. And of course, if you're a fan of dynamic gameplay that keeps you switching between shooting, driving, and just trying not to die, Badlands Crew has tons of fun in store. The game strikes a great balance between action and strategy, keeping things exciting from start to finish. In short, Badlands Crew is absolutely worth trying. It's one of those indie titles that shines through with a strong idea and lots of heart. It offers a fresh, wild experience. Where else can you go on a rock and roll raid across the wasteland in an apocalyptic truck with a hand-picked crew of lunatics? If you enjoy games that challenge you and reward creativity, Badlands Crew won't disappoint. So jump into the driver's seat, fire up the engine and hit the road toward adventure in the wastelands. This ride promises to be wild, chaotic and completely unforgettable. Take care of your crew and don't forget to buckle up, it's going to be one hell of a ride. Good luck out there, battle team.